Hey, good morning, and welcome to another Random Friday Musing. I hope everybody is well and having fun in life, because let's face it, that's what it's about. So this week I have been pondering changes, just the very nature of change itself. And it's funny because the headlines in the papers, they're quite hilarious. The weather is doing this and now it's doing that, and just this almost this scaremongering about how things are changing every single day, and someone's gotten older and someone's changed here, and who knows, the weather's changed and so on, and almost trying to make it really scary for us, that when something changes, when something shifts, that we should be afraid. And it has happened. People are truly afraid of any form of change, whether it's in themselves or outside of themselves, and so they desperately long to hold on to the status quo, desperately want to hold on to the way things are. And why do we do it? Well, we do it because we've been terrified of thinking that any kind of change is going to be bad for us, it's going to be difficult, it's challenging. But also, we get to like certain positions. We go, oh, it's sunny weather, I really like this. And when it rains, therefore it's bad. We always have this assumption that any kind of change is going to be bad. We don't necessarily like changes in ourselves. We don't want to age. We don't want to look tired. But again, we're always assuming that the change that's going to come is going to be a negative one. Instead of thinking, well, today I'll feel tired, but you know what? Life changes. Tomorrow I might feel amazing. But also we try and stop other people changing. We deny them their growth. We want to hold them back. We want to hold them down. And, we always say, we love it when people are a certain way. We say, oh, but I love you because you're always very loving. You're always very generous. But what it does is it locks down that person and says, don't you dare change. You're not allowed to become someone different. You're not allowed to grow into anyone else because I like you just the way you are. And we can't deny someone else the opportunity to change and grow as we have done for ourselves. But also, there's another reason why we want people to stay the same and situations to stay the same. And again, it's a highly egotistical thing. It's because if they change, that means I have to. If they adapt, if they grow, that means I have to. And we don't want to, because change and adapting, it's hard work, it's tiring. We may have to go and look at something inside of ourselves. We may have to challenge ourselves. It's so much easier if we can actually hold somebody else down and say, don't you dare change, because then I don't have to. It's all about the ego. And the ego says, I don't want to do any work because if you do work, well, it's difficult for me. And, I don't want to change because I'm too scared to do so. Everything is all based around our ego. But then life gets very difficult because we can't stand still. We're not a rock. If we stand still in a stream, then we are constantly bombarded by this huge rush of water, which sometimes, fine, it may be calm, but at other times it might be a rapid. And we're standing there and saying, well, I'm not going to move. I don't care what happens. I don't care what gets thrown at me. I am not moving. So we get bombarded. So life suddenly becomes really, really difficult, really challenging for us. And we sit back and we go, well, why is life so difficult? Why? Because we've tried desperately to stand still. We've tried desperately to hold on to the way things are. Hold on to the people that we love. But we can't do that. We are not able to stop time. We're not able to stop progression, to stop life. This is life. Life is death. Death is life. Holding on and letting go. This is a constant within our lives. And even when we're scared, we still have to recognize that to let go is necessary in order to bring something else in. We can't just accumulate stuff around us and say, well, now I have all this stuff around me, now I am safe, I'm safe from changes. It's like the idea of putting ourselves in some kind of time capsule and just saying, well, that's it, I'm no longer affected by the forces from outside. That would be such a lonely thing to do. Life is growth. And growth means change. Now, you don't plant a seed in the ground and then say, well, there you go, don't change. Don't you dare become what you're supposed to be. Instead, we water it. We speak to it lovingly, and this seed then blossoms into a beautiful flower. So then we decide we love the flower, and we say, don't you dare change. But a flower can't stay like that forever. The flower then must fall, so that another flower can grow. And eventually the plant can go back into the ground and rest and be a seed. And this is the cycle of life. This is the journey of life. So when you don't want people to change, if you realise that you're holding on to situations, holding on to people, holding on to who you are, have a look inside and ask yourself and say, why am I doing this? What is my fear? What am I frightened of losing? And recognise that in order to gain, we have to make space. We have to let go of what was, what no longer suits, so that we clear space for beauty, for light, for growth, for opportunity to come in. After all, if we never create space, if we never change, these wonderful new opportunities won't come in. There's no room for them to come in. Space is necessary, change is necessary, and life becomes easier when we are able to allow change to come. As I say, that rock in the stream, we no longer get bombarded. Instead, we become the feather that just floats down the stream. This is what change is, allowing. No matter how much you change, you will still be loved. You will still be you. You will still have your special place in the world. You need never doubt that. But just allow growth. You never know. You might love the person that you become even more. You might be surprised by the person who arises. So you can relax back and allow it. So thank you for joining me here today. I wish you a beautiful weekend, and I look forward to seeing you again on Random Friday Musing. Light blessings.